Hello everyone and welcome back to Cosy Reads. Come and take a seat at the fire as I tell you a new story. So welcome returning fans and welcome all new people as well. This is Regalion Productions, a place where I tell stories for you to chill and listen to. This is a welcoming place to just come and relax, and hopefully it can provide a place of respite for throughout your day. In today's video, I wanted to introduce a new series that I've been interested in creating. Oh, and sorry again, as my voice is still quite off due to still me being sick, but I will try my best to not sound super ill as we go through this video. So this new series that I've been thinking of creating is called The Journey of Life, and in this series we'll focus on stories about life, about growing up, about being an adult, and just understanding our place in everything. We'll also talk about where we are on our journey of life and where we're going, because everyone's journey is different. So I thought that this series might be a less scripted and more me speaking to you, the viewer, kind of thing. Also making it more like a conversation, but just one that spans time and distance, as we won't be having the same conversation at the same place or time. So without further ado, let's hop in. So I guess to start off this story in the journey of life, I should probably talk about my own journey of life and my own story. So currently, in terms of where I am in life, because I want this to be more of, I guess, sort of career focused, and also just in terms of, you know, just coming to understand our place in everything and us as adults. So I'll talk more so in terms of where I am currently in my life when it comes to career, when it comes to projects I'm working on and everything. So my career history is actually based in law. So I currently live in the UK, and my career history, so I started out going to uni and doing my undergraduate in law. I then did a postgraduate in law as well as the legal practice course, which was a course that we used to do here in the UK before things sort of changed over, and it was a way to become a solicitor basically. It was the course that you had to do almost like law school, and then after that you would then go do a training contract and then hopefully become a solicitor. So that was where I started out, and I've always had an interest in law. Even when I was young, it was something that I wanted to do, and it was something that I wanted to go into. But my main sort of passion when it came to work and what I wanted to be in the future was always writing. I just always knew how difficult it was to be an author. So from advice from people around me, parents and such, I sort of decided to go into law as just to give myself, I guess, a career that could actually, sort of put food on the table and put a roof over my head, until eventually I was able to work things out and go into writing and hopefully, start to make something from it. Over time and through my own research, I realized that trying to sort of make a living solely from writing is quite difficult. So because of that, I was like, okay, I need to maybe change up my plan and sort of try and figure out other streams of revenue and other streams of income, and sort of not hedge all my bets on just writing. But it was still something, it was still a dream of mine to become a writer, and it was still something I wanted to go into and work into. So yeah, so that's how I got into writing. That's how, that's where my career is as well when it comes to where I currently am. So right now I'm currently working as like a legal assistant, and my main goal is to hopefully get qualified in the next year or so, and then become a solicitor. In terms of what area of law I want to go into, I haven't fully decided yet. There's quite a few areas that I like. A lot of my degree was based around business law, but I've never actually worked in it, as I found things like mental health law to be to be a little bit more interesting, and a lot of social care law and things like that. So who knows where I go. But yeah, that's currently where I am with my career. So even while working in law, I was still always had my dream of being like an author, or at least creating my own book anyway. It was never sort of, create my own book and then hopefully it sells millions and millions of copies. I mean, that would be amazing, but the possibility of that happening, I know, is not the highest. But I always thought to myself, you know, if I can at least get my own book out there, then at least I can say to myself, you know, I dedicated time to it, and yeah, it might have taken me however long it took, but I did it, and I managed to. So I have promoted it before on this channel, and it's always in the description of every video. You completed a book, and it's called Regalion, which is the name of where Regalion Productions came from. But yeah, so it's called Regalion, and it's essentially a fantasy adventure book. So it's based in a different world. So sometimes I use sort of like it being a sci-fi book as well, but that's just mainly because based in a different world, there are mentions of other planets and like future books and all that kind of stuff. But its main sort of genre is fantasy / adventure. So in the book, there's a band of heroes come together to sort of take down a secret organization, as well as these creatures called demons who come from sort of your different realms or different worlds, and they come to try and take over. So the demons have been there for a while, but now things seem to be sort of picking up, as for some reason there are things going on that no one's too sure of. Even a secret organization seems to be acting up as well. So a band of heroes come together to try and figure out what's going on and hopefully put a stop to it, save their world, that kind of thing. So sort of like a tried and true kind of story. You know, you've got things like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, which you would sort of like follow a similar kind of format. Band of heroes come together, stop a big bad evil, that kind of thing. So yeah, I've always liked those kind of stories. I've always felt like you know what you're getting with those stories, but each one has their own sort of unique spin on it, and that's what I always thought was interesting. Is, you know, you go into these stories knowing, okay, so they're gonna kind of follow this format, but they're going to have their own unique spin, and that's what kind of keeps me engaged. That's what keeps me coming back to sort of see how the story turns out, to sort of see, you know, who the big bad is or how they're going to take them down, but to also, you know, sort of see the uniqueness of the story. So the difference in my story, you know, being these beings called Godforsaken, and they have powers that are based on weapons that they all wield, and so forth. But there's also some other elements in there as well, and that try and sort of make it to be a little bit more different to the usual sort of hero's journey kind of story. But yeah, so that's Regalion. So in terms of how long it took me to finish Regalion, well, I've always had a dream of being an author ever since I was a child, and it was only until I believe I was about 14 when I actually sort of started to write to try and make it happen. But before, when I was about that age, I used to work on just random different books, different stories and everything. I was actually working on a book back then, but I remember I showed it to a cousin and told him about it, and he immediately was like, oh, that sounds like this book. And then he was like, oh, you're literally just copying this book. And I was like, I've never even heard of it. I even looked up to this day, I can't remember what book he mentioned, but I was like, I've never even heard of that book. And he was like, well, your book follows the exact same format, so I think you're copying it. And I was like, oh, I felt so distraught because I was young. So I went back home and checked, and the book was similar to mine, but it had its differences. But the stuff that he had said had already like turned me off, and I was like, oh, well, I can't write this one now. So I gave up on it, which was sad. Sometimes I do think back on it and wish I'd carried on, but I don't even know where those notes are now. Those notes are somewhere lost in the house. But yeah, but it did drive me to write Regalion, and Regalion actually follows or has some themes based on that book. So it wasn't a complete loss. In terms of how long it took Regalion itself, it took me about 5 years to finish Regalion on and off. It's a lot of on and off writing, for about 5 years. So quite a long time. There was many times I thought it wouldn't be finished, but here we are. It's done now. I managed to finish writing it last year, and then editing it this year, and then finally getting it to the state of where it is now, to standard of which I'm happy with, which is how it is now. It took me months to get it to that point. There was a lot of trial and error. I think the edition now is its third edition because I had to go back and sort of keep changing things, and some things I couldn't just re-upload on Amazon. I had to actually go back and actually sort of change it and make it a new edition to the book. So yeah, there's a lot of things that went into making Regalion how it is now. But that is sort of the story of how these things go. One thing that I realized is when you have sort of a passion or dream to make something, and when you want to, sort of build something and make it your own, whether that be business, whether that be fashion, whether that be writing a book, creating a song, or even just art or whatever. Whenever there's something that that you want to create, even if it's just a career or family or whatever, there's a lot of work that could go into it. Some people get lucky and they don't have to put in as much work, but I believe everyone always has to put in some work. For some people it might just be that they have to put in more work than others, and that's just how life is. But if you have that dream to sort of make something come true, then it doesn't matter how long it takes, you'll still keep working at it until it comes true. Like I said, for example, with the Regalion, I had many times where I thought I was never going to finish it, and I was like, I'll just stay in law and I'll just be happy in law because I still enjoy it anyway. But I always had that niggling thing in the back of my head that was like, you've started working on this book and it's still there. You can see it every time you open your folders tab. It's right there in your face. And I'd always look at it and I'll be like, damn, it'll be so nice to get this finished, to actually see the full story play out, to be able to actually finish it and be able to read it myself and be like, wow, I wrote that. So I'd always come back to it. And I'll always just keep working on it until eventually I got it done. It took me a while, but I knew it would happen eventually. It was just how long it would take. So that's why I always say that everyone has their own different journey of life, because no one knows how long something will take to get done. You can have an idea of how long it will take to get done, and you can have an idea of how much hard work you need to put in, but a lot of the times life sort of just has a way of sort of like slapping you in the face and giving you a wake-up call and be like, that's not how this is going to work out. Life will try its hardest sometimes to make sure that things don't work out for you, and that's when you need to find the motivation in yourself to be like, okay, if life's trying to beat me down, then the only person I can really rely on is me. Sometimes you can have family, friends and other people around you who you can rely on as well, which is amazing, but sometimes it's just you, and you have to sort of pick yourself up and be like, all right then, if it's just me, then because it's you know how hard you can work, and you can pick yourself up and be like, all right then, if it's just me that has to believe in myself, then I better give myself 110%, because it's only going to be me. So when you have those times, it's like, okay, life's beating me down and I'm struggling to get this done, and I don't know how long this is going to take, I don't know how much hard work I have to put in, I'm tired, I want to just forget it and just move on and and just do something new. I can't be bothered doing this anymore, it's taking too long. That's when you got to find that motivation yourself. But alright then, it's just me. So because of that, I have to pick myself up. I've already put in so much effort, so much work into getting this done. I can't give up now. If I give up now, then all of that would have been for nothing. And yeah, I can use it in future endeavors, but that whole thing that I was trying to do would just be sitting there forever, never being finished. And what's to say you try something new and the same thing happens again? You give up when it starts to get hard. I think sort of pushing yourself and having those moments where things get hard, but being able to keep going, it instills that in you to be like, okay, no matter how hard this is, I'm going to keep going because I've done it before. If I've done it before, I know I can do it again. And then that's where I think success then comes from. It's being able to sort of pick yourself up and tell yourself, all right, no matter how hard things get, I've had hard moments before, picked myself up and kept going, and if I've done that before, I can do it again here. And if I keep doing that, eventually something will stick, and eventually something will work. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It can take years, it can take months, it can take 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, it doesn't make a difference, and that doesn't mean that you have to be unhappy that whole time, working on it. No, you can still enjoy life. And I think that's one of the main things is that I think a lot of people forget is that life isn't sort of just one and done. It's not just stick to one thing and that's it. You can still enjoy life while also building what you want to build as well. So if it's taking forever, if it's taking a lot of time, effort, energy, all that kind of stuff, still find things in your life that you can enjoy. You can still enjoy your career, but still be wanting to build a future in something else. That's what I'm doing now. I still thoroughly enjoy my career being a legal assistant, and I don't see myself leaving this job anytime soon. My co-workers are amazing. The people I work with, the place I work at is amazing. The job I do can have its moments where it can be stressful, and it can have its moments when it's not fun, but for the most part I enjoy it. So it's like I enjoy all these things, and I could see myself being here for a long time. But at the same time, this isn't my dream. This isn't what I want for the future of myself, you know. While I could be happy being here for a long time, I wouldn't want to give up on potentially living the other life I want to live, or potentially living the dream that I've had ever since I was a kid, you know. And I don't want to give that up just because I'm happy where I am. Now, the goodness of that is it means that if things don't work out doing the other thing, I'm still happy in my situation anyway. So because of that, it's like, why not work hard at the other thing then? Because even if it fails, I'm still happy where I am anyway. So my life isn't worse off for it. But if it succeeds, my life is not better off for it. And that doesn't mean I can't still work in where I'm working now. It just means I can have maybe more flexibility, maybe more financial freedom, maybe more happiness and fulfillment in myself because I've done the things I set out to do. So there's a lot more joy and a lot more comfort and a lot more fulfillment that can come from being happy in your current situation, but being able to say that I still want to achieve such and such, and I'm still going to keep working at achieving such and such. That's why I've started this YouTube channel as well. You know, doing YouTube was something I've always wanted to do ever since I was young, and it's been dreams of people around me too. But it's something that none of us have ever really started, and it's something that I was like, you know what? Ever since I finished my book, that was an achievement, a big achievement in myself, and I was like, you know, I finished this, I've done it. And after that, it told me to say, I can do these other things too. It might take me some time and I might not have any experience in them whatsoever, but I can do them as well. I finished writing a full book. You know, many people have dreams of writing books. Some people start but never finish, but I had the dream, I started and I finished it. Whether it gets read by loads of people or whether it gets read by one person, you know, whether it's just me that reads it, doesn't make a difference. The fact I was able to start and finish it shows myself that I can do things that I set my mind to. If I set my mind to do something, I can do it. So that's what got me to start this YouTube channel. So yeah, so I think that's one of the main things. I guess that was one of the main points of this video, was that whole idea of everyone's on their own journey of life, and because of that, it's not so simple as to say, oh, you know, this is the things that I want to achieve, and I want to achieve them by this point and by this time, and I have to do this, this, and this to get these things achieved. Because life has its own way of figuring things out, and sometimes they don't work out how you want them to. That doesn't mean you have to give up. It just means you just keep going, and you're okay to be content and to be happy in your current situation. And sometimes you don't even, like, if you don't really have, you know, dreams, like, you know, like if you don't have similar dreams to everyone else, if you don't want to, you know, create something, or like if you don't want to build a business, or if you don't want to write a book, or if you don't want to create a song, or if you don't want to create art or whatever, you know, if you don't want to do these things, that's fine. You know, it's okay to just be like, I'm happy just building my career and then just finding a job where I can be happy in, and I can retire at that job. You know, I just want just a content life. I don't need to be making loads of money. I don't need to be doing all these crazy things. If I can just have a content life, build a family, I'm chill. That's okay as well. And that's more than fine to work towards that. You know, like I said, everything takes effort, and everything takes hard work. Some people get there easier, some people it's more difficult, but everything takes hard work and everything takes effort to build into. So just because you're chasing a dream that might not fit with everyone else's, that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that you're putting in less work or less effort than everyone else. Because we're all going to get to where we want to be. As long as we keep working at it, we can all get there. You know, it just takes effort and time. Like I said, it's okay to be content in the situation that you're in, and to be happy in your current situation, but still be striving for more. That's fine as well. You don't have to sort of listen to everyone around you who's like, oh, you know, you have this amazing job and you're doing all these amazing things and you seem happy, you know, you've got a partner, or, you know, like, you're single and you're enjoying yourself, you've got your own place or whatever, you know, you've got your own car or whatever. So you're living a good life. So why would you want to do all these other things? You know, you don't have to listen to those people and be like, you know what, they're right, maybe I should just sit back and just enjoy my life. It's okay to be like, I want to enjoy my life, but I also want to achieve more in these other things. It's okay to feel like that as well. So yeah, because this journey of life, it's a crazy one for a lot of people, and things don't always work out as we want them, but remember, there's no harm in trying. At least there's no harm at least working towards something, and just see what you can make of it. Even if things don't work out, you always gain new skills, and you always use those skills for other things. So it's never a complete, sort of write off to be like, oh, things haven't worked out for me. Life will always find its way, and while life feels like it's beating you down a lot of the time, there will be a lot of times when life will pick you up and it will be like, okay, you've done all this hard work, yeah, these things didn't work out, but here's something new. You can use all those skills that you've gained, and here's something new. You might not enjoy it as much as the first thing, but you still enjoy it, and then you're like, wow, that first thing I wanted to do didn't work out, but the second thing I'm now doing, while it might not be as fun as the first thing, I'm still enjoying it, and all those skills I learned at the first thing, I'm able to use them here. So yes, that was the main point of this video, really, was to just talk about sort of my own journey of where I've got to where I am now, reason for this YouTube channel, reason for Regalion, and also to just try and maybe just give a little bit of motivation, a bit of inspiration to people who might be sort of unsure where they are in life right now, and might be feeling like, maybe they don't have big dreams, like other people around them. Maybe they feel like their dreams aren't as big or as significant. Maybe they feel like their life isn't really going anywhere at the moment. Maybe they're working at something and things are not working out, or maybe they're just sort of struggling right now, and things just seem to just be spiraling, and every day just seems to be the same, and everything else, it's like, it's just being able to wake up each day and being able to think to yourself, okay, then even if I don't do anything amazing today, that's fine, because amazing is subjective. It's dependent on what you feel like is hard work and is amazing. And if you wake up and you're like, just the fact that I woke up and the fact I was able to get up out of bed and make my bed is amazing, then that's fine. It might not be a lot to other people, but if it's a lot to you, then that's what matters. So it's just been able to find that inspiration each day to just do something small, and you define your small. It can be something that other people might consider big, it could be something other people might consider small. It doesn't make a difference. You define what hard work is for yourself. This journey of life can be confusing and it can be difficult, but we'll all get there eventually. We'll all figure things out, so that was the main sort of portion of this video. Hopefully the way I'm sounding didn't affect it too much, and hopefully maybe you can listen to this and maybe it might give you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of motivation to go about your day, and you'll be able to come back here whenever you sort of are feeling down, or whenever you feel like you're struggling, whenever things aren't feeling like they're working out, you're able to come back and be like, oh, actually, things can work out. I'll just leave off with just one quick story. So my mom actually had immense sort of kidney problems like a while ago. She still has them now, but luckily she's had an operation now, but she had kidney failure, and for the last couple of years she's been struggling with it. And I remember she was telling me this story, or she was telling me the time when things were at their worst, and when she would literally struggle just to even get up out of bed. I used to be in school at this point, so because that I never used to see how bad things got, but she used to tell me that she'll just be sort of sitting there, and she'll just be like just looking at things outside, looking at cars passing by, looking at people passing by. She'd just be like, her life just seems to be passing her by, and it used to depress her a lot. And my mom's never been one to be depressed. I've never seen her sad, except for in like immense situations, like when people die and stuff like that. My mom's always been that positive, happy person. So when she told me that story, I was like, wow, I've never seen her being sad or anything. But she told me that it used to depress her quite a bit, and then that was when she sort of found her motivation. So I was like, okay, then I need to start doing small things, just doing little bits here and there, because I need to take my own life back, because if I just sit here and do nothing, no one's going to come and do it for me. So I got to start taking my life back. That whole thing of, if it feels like life's beating you down and everyone around you, like you can't sort of lean on anyone around you. Sometimes you just got to lean on yourself. You just got to be like, alright, then it's just me. So I got to motivate myself. I got to give myself 110%. So she was like, she'll get up out of bed, she'll have the idea of, okay, today I just want to make my bed. Doesn't matter how long it takes. It could take me an hour, it could take me half an hour, it could take me 6 hours. So like, doesn't make a difference. I just want to make my bed. Now that's something small that a lot of people do within a couple of minutes. But my mom, in the beginning, it took her the whole day. Like, I kid you not, it would take her 6 hours to just make the bed, because you'd have to keep taking breaks, keep stopping, keep pausing, keep catching her breath, maybe take a small rest and then get back to it. But she wouldn't stop. She would keep going. She would literally just make the bed and then have to be getting back into it because it's bedtime now. But that didn't deter her. She was like, that's fine, as long as I make the bed, that's the main thing. It doesn't matter how long it's made for, as long as she can make it, that's the main thing. And it went like that for a while, for like days and weeks. And then eventually, as she started to get stronger and fitter in herself, the time started to reduce. It went from 6 hours to like 5 hours to 4 hours to 3 hours to 2 hours, and eventually she was able to make the bed within an hour. And now she can make the bed in a couple minutes, 10 minutes tops, and it's done, you know. But she'd come a long way to reach that point. And when she told me that, it made me realize that everyone has their own sort of thing that they're trying to do, and it doesn't matter how big or small that thing is compared to other people's things that they're trying to do. All that matters is how important it is to you. And it can be something as small as making the bed, but if you make that your goal, and if you're able to do it, that's a pat on the back, that's an achievement, I should reward myself, because that's amazing. If that's the goal that you've set for yourself and you've done it, that's amazing. And it's hitting those small goals consistently that we're then able to start hitting the bigger goals. We're able to realize, okay, if I can do these small things consistently, maybe I can work towards that bigger thing. You know, if I can do small things consistently, maybe that bigger thing is now going out and interacting with people. Maybe I can do that, even if it's just going to shops and just saying hello to the shopkeeper. That's an interaction, you know. And it's building on that and building on that until eventually you'll look back at yourself years later and you'll be like, wow, can't believe I struggled to even talk to people. Now I'm able to go out and I can say hi to like different people on the street. I can have a conversation, I can tell them about myself. Maybe I can't talk for like hours and hours, but I can definitely have a small conversation with people. It's small things like that. But this was a much longer video than my other videos, so hopefully you enjoy it and I'll be able to get through it. Hopefully it wasn't just me sort of rambling too much. I think I did ramble quite a bit, but these videos will be a lot more succinct and concise and make a lot more sense once I do more future videos. For now, this is just the first one, so we'll just see how it goes. But I'll finish off now. So I hope that you've all enjoyed this type of video, as this was definitely something different to the other videos on my channel, and like I said, it was longer as well. But I hope you've all enjoyed it either way anyway. And yeah, and like, if you enjoy it, then I'll be more than happy to make more. I'll probably still make more anyway, just because I do enjoy doing these type of things and just talking about just life and about where we are as adults, especially because now it seems everything is so confusing. You know, men, women, everyone's struggling, and whatever else you might identify as, but we are all struggling in our own way. That's why I think it's important to have these type of videos as just a place to come back to, a place to sort of whenever things just aren't making sense, as a place to come back to and just maybe get a little bit of inspiration, a little bit motivation to be alright, things might not be making sense now, but give it time, things will start to make sense. And so with that, I will end the video in my usual way. And I hope you have all sufficiently warmed up and that this story or video has brought you some level of comfort. I wish you safe travels on the journey of life, and feel free to come back again whenever you need a new story to warm your day.